Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of Create Expectations. So if you haven't already watched part 1 and are confused, you need to watch it on Sarah's channel, which is linked below. So go watch it, come back, and then watch part 2, and we can get into it.
Yeah, leave likes on both channels too,
Yeah,
guys.
and make sure you subscribe to them.
Do it right now,
Right, and then come back.
please.
All right, so let's hop into viewer questions because there were a few that I found, and I thought they were interesting.
All right.
Okay, so the first one is from Echo 7. And he was asking if the skill rating in the new GAC takes into account each squad win. So, i.e., does it matter if you full clear or only clear half the board, or is it solely win loss?
Okay, I know the answer, but I'm curious to know because I'm so into GAC. It's more of I should know that. I'm curious to know because you take it a little less seriously than me. I know you have been taking it seriously, so no shade whatsoever. But
Right.
I'm curious if do you know the answer?
I think I know the answer, and now I'm scared that I don't know the answer.
It's okay. I mean, I think it's a valid question regardless.
Totally, because they didn't really explain it.
Yeah, if you don't know for sure, then I think it's good to solidify that for a few people.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the answer?
So I believe it does take into account how much of the board you clear and how easy it was for you to clear it.
It does not.
It does not?
Oh, a win's a win. It's a win's a win's a win.
Are you sure? So it doesn't matter if you clear the entire board
Nope.
or if you only clear one zone.
Correct. Yeah. Like you could literally, you can attack and kill one character and get an 11.
Right.
And then someone else could attack and not kill a character and get a 10.
Right.
And the person who gets the 11 wins, obviously. And he gets the same, let's say he's still a lot of it's based on the people that you're beating. So it's based on that. There's a few different things that we're not sure exactly what it's based on, but it is not based for sure. We know that it's not. You don't get anything extra. The devs, I think the devs have even said that you don't get anything extra for full clearing other than the pat on the head, the glowing feeling of accomplishing a full clear, and you get some credits for the wins.
Didn't they say something though about the ranking system taking into account how difficult your opponent is in relation to you?
Yeah. So if you have a really high skill rating and I'm facing you and I beat you, then I'll get a little extra because I beat you because you have a high skill rating. So you get more skill points the higher up you are because you're facing people with higher up skill rating.
So then doesn't that affect your skill rating?
Yeah, but full clearing doesn't matter.
Okay. I got you.
The full clear doesn't matter. It's whether I win or not.
Right. Okay. But the difference between my skill rating and your skill rating could affect how much your skill rating goes up or down.
Yes. Okay. If for some reason I'm paired against someone with a way lower skill rating, which I don't know how that would happen the way they've been matching us, but I mean, at the very, very top levels, there's going to be some people who kind of in a given season before they do skill squish for the start of the next season, some people will be way ahead of everyone else because they'll keep beating them, and so in that case, beating the person who's the very highest is going to yield a better reward than if that person who's at the highest level beats someone who's significantly lower than them.
Right.
In theory. There's also we're thinking right now that maybe we're also getting more points for the week 1 and then fewer points for week 2 and then still fewer points for week 3 and the lowest would be week 4. Right. So in theory, if you really wanted to maximize your crystals and you could guarantee wins somehow, maybe the best in theory would be win your first, win all 9 of your first matches, and then just plummet on the final one because you have the least skill gain anyways. You just let yourself go.
Right, and then repeat it next season.
Right, because you're still lower skill rating at the end of losing 3, so then you can, and that'll maybe maximize your crystals more. I think in theory that works, but I think it's also a fool's errand because you can't guarantee who you're facing and if you can actually beat them or not. So
right. So just try to win.
I think so. I mean, that's how I'm built anyways. I'm like, all right, you have the biggest account and you're the best player. I guess I'll just go and swing in anyways. Like,
right.
I don't care. Like, we're like, what? It's like a bad dream. It's like, all right, I'm ready. And people are like, no, actually, you're facing that guy, but you're on Prevail, man. And I'm like,
oh gosh.
I'm like, all right, let's go.
You're gonna do it anyway.
Gotta just we're going in. Like it's not gonna be a worthwhile endeavor, but we're gonna do it. But it would be. Like how far can we go? I don't know. Just that's how I am. So, all right. What's the next question?
All right. I'm gonna say this wrong. I'm so sorry. Vij de Bruin. I think I might.
If they didn't want people to mispronounce their name, they shouldn't have named themselves that.
I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Okay. So he says he's free to play and he's almost got Kylo, like Galactic Legend Kylo.
Okay.
For the finalizer ship, he needs to have some bounty hunter ships built to go after it. So he's curious what the second best capital ship would be to run with bounty hunters since Executor is so far away from him.
Oh, geez. That's a tough question. So, okay, before you get so that's kind of a loaded question because Executor is obviously the one that you want to have.
Right.
Okay, so honestly, Finalizer is amazing with bounty hunters. Like I always took Cad Bane with Finalizer because you take Cad Bane, and I guess Razor Crest would be great too. Mm-hmm. Because they call people to assist, and all you want for Finalizer is to have your silencer. That's the Kylo Ren unmasked ship, the one that almost killed Leia, but let her have her Mary Poppins moment. You know that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So I really like having Cad Bane, and like bounty hunters are good with Finalizer actually. Do you have any other insights? I have a couple others, but I don't want to hog the space here.
I've just never run them with Finalizer, so I find that interesting. I've always run them with Thrawn, with Chimera.
Sure. I think Chimera is a really valid one as well, because especially so if you're not, I mean, obviously this is for a guy who's getting the Finalizer and, who's doing all this stuff. But if you don't have Finalizer, TIE Silencer is actually still great with Chimera, because Chimera gives all these bonuses. Like Thrawn is Empire, but he's not as Empire as Executrix is. Like he's the take all comers fleet, in my opinion. And he has some really cool synergies with Silencer, and again, you just want to call Silencer and call him to assist, and Cad Bane facilitates that as well.
Right.
And you can keep Silencer healed and stuff. It's fun.
True. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Very good.
So this one I thought also was really interesting from Gavin. If an Omicron turned out to only be great in 3v3 and it was trash in 5v5, would you still get it?
Do you want to answer that first? I can if you want. I don't care.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would.
You don't like 3v3.
I hate 3v3 with passion. I know you like 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
So would you still get it?
Oh, I think the bigger question is how often would we be having 3v3? Because
that's what I'm wondering too.
Like right now, what if what?
Like what if it's once every 4 or 5 months?
Right. In which case, I don't think it's worth it. But if you're doing it all the time, like if it's every other time, it would have to be a really really good one. It would have to turn a character. It would have to have a transcendent ability that kind of like how Scion of Django becomes amazing in territory wars if he has his Omicrons, but otherwise he's not like he would need to be that level where he just totally blocks like every counter except for a couple. That's how good it would have to be. If it was just like casually pretty good, no, I don't think so. No.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, at least with how rare Omicrons are, and I'm like, yes, I can finally apply another one. Like it's one of those things you're tapping your foot the whole time. Like, hurry up, I need more.
Right. I also feel like it would be one of those scenarios where people would forget if it's in 3v3 or 5v5. So you could potentially psych your opponent out.
Oh man, Prevail Man hit a guy who had this crazy roster, and he had a full like he had all the guy, you know, he had Supreme Leader Kylo, and then he had all of the First Order, of course, Relic, and it kind of made me feel sad. He had Kylo, crew on one of his First Order teams, but he put Phasma lead.
Oh no!
Because she had her Omicron.
Oh no!
And it was like it was either like preloaded and he just like accidentally misclicked, or he just didn't realize that it was not relevant. And that was the only way I could beat that team. I was like, oh, it's Phasma. Thank goodness. This is wonderful.
Because it's not as strong.
Right, yeah. Man. Like crew is a way better natural leader. You have to get the Omicron to actually make Phasma. And Phasma is way better once she gets her Omicron in territory wars. It's just yeah.
Right.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we want to do our character review? That's it. That's it for questions. So.
Okay.
We're here.
Talk about Antenna Girl.
Yeah. Aurra Sing. Well, she really does have a nail in her head. I never noticed that.
How many other people do you think you have in your life that have a nail stuck in their head now that you just never noticed? That might keep you up tonight.
Well, great, thanks. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, I'm curious what your thoughts are, because we'll just tell everyone. I don't have her 7-star. She's still 5-star for me. But I am farming her. I decided to do it. I bit the bullet. It's happening. So I figured we should just talk about her.
She's good.
I arbitrarily picked her.
Good. That's a good one. She's been around for a while.
She has.
But when she was first released, she was kind of like she was kind of marketed as someone who would help a lot in the Sith raid, actually.
I think that's why a lot of people got her initially, right?
Oh yeah, like I know a lot of people who, because she does extra damage. She does extra, like she can just do her big hit over and over and over again if someone's toppled. So this was phase 3 of the Sith raid, and now no one uses her there, or at least I don't.
Sad.
I know. Well, if you have Supreme Leader Kylo, you just solo the frickin' thing, but it's one of his very few uses. Anyway, so yeah, she's good on a bounty hunters team. Obviously, I mean, you've seen me use her a lot. Her leadership is just really nice. It's nice to get her contract because it's just use an ability while buffed 10 times.
Right. So she's one of the faster ones, right, to get the contract off?
Super fast because you don't have a specific target and it's things you can control. So you can put all your guys, you can make everyone buffed, as opposed to like Bosk, who, it's not like a super hard one for Bosk, but it can be problematic if someone starts in stealth and they're the weakest or something and you have to shoot them. With Aurra, it's like, okay, as long as I can guarantee buffs on my whole team, then we just call a couple mass assists. We get the contract after like 2 or 3 character turns. And then you can get the disintegrate with Mando and call it good.
Right.
So, I mean, and the awesome thing is, if you take her lead, not only is the contract achievable, you also get it because So, yeah, but bounty hunter and scoundrel allies have, extra offense when they're stealth, but then at the start of the battle,
Hmm.
bounty hunters, bounty hunter attackers, which most of them are actually, if you look at all the bounty hunters, there are very few that don't have, that aren't attackers. They gain stealth for 2 turns at the
Yeah.
start. So if you start with a team with just Bosk, and then the rest of them are, like Grief. Grief he's support, but he starts in stealth. But then, like Mando and, I don't know, Zam is, because you take the Omicron or whatever, or
Right.
Boba or whatever. Like you take 4 attackers, including Aurra, and you can game the system so that you just call 2 mass assists and everyone suddenly magically has the contract. It's
Right.
really fancy.
Yeah. And they're good to go.
She's got a lot of other cool utility though as well on top of all of this. So she's really good at max banners because, for instance, whenever, so once you get your reward and everything, once the payouts are activated, yeah. So every time an enemy is defeated, all
Mhm.
the bounty hunters allies gain 25% protection and turn meter.
Right. So you're gaining that back and going faster.
Now this is a Zeta. People. The other day, I got in a conversation actually with someone who was like, "Yeah, I just recently put like Aurra Sing's leadership on. Like I must have been desperate, man. Or I must be like crazy." And I'm like, "It's not crazy. It's good. This is a really good one, actually." Whenever a bounty hunter defeats an enemy, like a bounty hunter attackers gain stealth for 2 turns. Like being able to be in that stealth protects you, because then a lot of the guys you're facing are gonna punch you back. They have retribution and stuff, but if you're in stealth, it
They can't.
doesn't. Yeah, they can't. And plus, you get extra offense. You get 30% offense while you're stealth. So, underrated Zeta, in my opinion, if you're using her.
Hmm.
The other thing that I really like about her is she's got so it doesn't always proc, but 70% chance to stun. And like on her basic, so you can call her to assist,
Hmm.
and she gets stuns a lot, and it's really helpful sometimes. It's just like, man, if this guy goes, we're just screwed. And then you're like, oh, but I can call Aura to it,
Right.
instead of doing her big hit, she just stuns, and yeah, the utility of that stun is incredibly useful.
Right. Yeah.
I don't,
She sounds fun. I use her. So right now, the only place I use her is in Conquest. Um, because of her leadership. Like she makes getting if there's a stealth feat, she makes it stupid easy.
okay, that's fair. Okay, trivia time. Who killed Aurra Sing in the canon?
Oh man, I don't know this. Who killed her?
Well, it's up for debate whether it was Tobias Beckett
Mm-hmm.
or the Fall. He said like his he said, well, I just pushed her. I'm pretty sure the Fall killed her. But one way or another, from the Solo movie, that's what he killed Aurra Sing,
Oh
and
man,
yeah, it's in the movie. Have you seen Solo? It's a good movie.
I have seen it. I've seen it a few times,
I know, I
but
was being fascist or
but I,
facetious.
I never remember these little details.
Oh, you should try having a good memory like me.
I should. You're right. I'll get right on that.
Yeah, I remember all these stupid things and then forget really important stuff. Okay. Anything else to say about Aura?
I mean, you have more experience with her than I do. So, would you put her out of curiosity? Would you put her on a team as not the leader?
Not really. There's too many good bounty hunters. I mean, okay, so she does do an enormous amount of damage with her sniper's expertise ability, like her big special. Like even when they're not toppled or whatever, like more relic levels on her, she gets into some really dirty amounts of damage. So she's nice as DPS, but bounty hunters aren't about just like killing things. Like it's either about disintegrating characters or, I mean, sometimes sure, like Boba just completely crushing someone with his huge execute is fun. A lot of times for bounty hunters, though, it's just about your control of the situation. And without her lead, she's a 70% to stun on basic character who does some good damage, but a lot of bounty hunters do. So, no, I wouldn't particularly say she's not particularly useful in that regard. Like, lots of better DPS from bounty hunters.
Okay. I was just curious.
My opinion. Yeah. I like her though. I use about half the time, the other half boss lead. So
Yeah.
worthwhile. And I will say this, one last thing. You don't have to have a relic. She's on my alt. I use her all the time. Like every single time. Like I kill full relic Darth Revan teams with a gear 10 Aurra Sing lead.
Really?
Yeah, it happens like a ton of matches. If they put Darth Revan down on defense, then that's my go-to on that account. Is my Omicron Zam or a Sing lead bounty hunters.
We gotta talk about this because my Aurra Sing is gear 10.
Yeah, I think it would be viable. Like you might lose 3 banners because if they get an AOE off, she'll just like freaking die. But yeah, she's
Well then, all right.
Yeah. She's viable at super low gear as long as you ever lead. So,
Well then, the more you know.
the more you know.
All right. No other thoughts on her, I assume.
I have so many more thoughts, but we'll be good.
All right. We can condense it.
Yeah.
Let's look at our pack.
Okay, let's do that. It's really good. Actually, I don't know if it's good. Is this the last thing we're talking about today?
This is the last thing we're talking about.
All right. We've got about 3.5 minutes-ish.
Oh boy. Which pack are we talking about?
Zeta Material Mega Bundle.
Oh boy. $50.
$50.
50 American dollars.
Now, it just occurred, I don't think, though this isn't the same as so some of them you have to have the hyperdrive bundle in order to unlock some of these Zeta packs. I don't think this is it, though.
This is not the same one.
Okay.
I don't think.
So
doesn't that one expire?
Well, it goes away and then it comes back, but this one does as well.
Okay.
So, you get Zetas. You get 10 to 40. You guys can't really see it because my head's blocking it. But then you also, so it's a range, obviously pack probabilities. But you always get at least 10 and up to 40. You always get 50 of the various chirotechs of each type, and then 10 omegas and 30 of the purple ones that I have 13,000 of.
Right. That everyone has a stash of.
Right. Actually, Prevail Man is, after over a year of playing that account, he's still kind of hurting for him, surprisingly. But not too bad. It's not desperate. So you just got to be cautious a little bit. And then the probabilities, you have a 2% chance of gaining 40. So, not great odds.
No.
8% to get 30. So really like a 10% total to get above 20.
Yikes.
But then, I mean, really, like your most likely result is going to be 10 or 15 Zeta mats, which is close to a full Zeta. You can buy 2 of them. What are your thoughts? For $50.
I don't think I would buy this for $50. Which is actually, I think it's like 70 Canadian.
So why not? Do you have too many Zetas? Like you have a ton?
I don't have too many. I just don't know if I would say that Zetas are worth $50. Not anymore.
And to guarantee that you get a full Zeta, you have to spend $100, basically. You have to be willing to spend $100.
Right. Because you could theoretically pull 10 twice.
Right.
Which is probably going to happen. I don't think I would do that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the only reason I would say you should do this. Honestly, like I agree. I think if you're so you get a lot of opportunities to earn Zetas. Like they keep increasing our ability to get more Zeta mats, and so you can kind of catch up over time a little bit at least. But if you you get them organically, like you kind of just keep getting them at a rate that you're gearing your roster. If you're free to play, or even if you're spending a tiny bit, the thing the thing is, if you've decided to start a new account and you want to spend a lot of money, this is the only way. Like, Zetas are the way to unlock squads, to make squads good a lot of times. And so if you want to, if you intend to spend a lot of money on your roster and really escalate the growth of that roster, this ends up being an okay purchase, just because if you don't care as much about the dollar value, you just care about the effect it has on your roster. This actually, it might end up being a really valuable one, in fact.
Right. And I think that would probably be the only exception.
I think so.
Because like you said, later on, they're just so accessible now.
Right.
And most people don't just Zeta anything willy-nilly.
Yeah. I mean,
Most people.
yeah.
I throw them
I
around
agree.
like candy, but
I like to Zeta things all over the place, but that being said, I'm like, they've released so many new characters lately. I'm like, man, I could only apply, I forget on my main. Well, let's look. Yeah, I can only apply 8 right now. Not even quite 8 if I wanted
only.
to.
Just buy the pack and you'll be set.
Good call, Sarah. All right. I think we're about out of time.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah. So, any last words, Sarah?
No, I think that's it until next week when we will hopefully have news and Conquest will be live the next time we record. I'm so excited. And we'll be going into a territory battle. Or we'll be in a territory battle. I gotta double check.
All right, guys. You heard it here. Conquest is exciting. I'm more excited to know what character we're going to get. I bet it's an Inquisitor.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Sub, both of us, please.
Yeah. Like, and leave a comment or a question. Or
Yeah.
Or go into the Gambit server because that's where the questions page is and roster roast page.
We'll leave it at the very end to tell people that, dear Lord. Yep, there's a whole channel devoted to roster roast. Like, you can, if you want to roster roast, you can link your account and also ask questions there, or ask them in the comments. We would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
All right, call it good.
Call it good. That's it.
Goodbye.